Guys and girls, a happy welcome back to the LoL battles. And it's just about time that we see GameplayDNA versus Team NoNames facing it off. The winner will go to the finals, the loser will be eliminated from the tournament. We already talked a little bit about it before our short break. We expect nothing from this because GameplayDNA have won the first match between those two teams, but Team NoNames have absolutely crushed Wonderstack. So in terms of information, we can't really tell which team is going to win this, and that's the best situation you can be in.
I feel like NoNames actually know what they're doing. I feel like they're on the right way to taking this matchup and to going into the finals and maybe even putting up a fight right there. Because of, like I said, against Wonderstack, they took advantage of that early game. That's what worked the best against GameplayDNA. If they try to do the same kind of thing in here, sure, there's a risk of being read by GameplayDNA and just beaten just by that, but I feel like this is their best shot. So if NoNames want to take this matchup, probably the best option is going to be to just do the same thing they did against Wonderstack, but of course with maybe a little bit of tweaks, maybe different champions, but overall something along these lines.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what Team NoNames do really well in the two games that they've played so far. They've always managed to get the early game lead. So they seem to be an overall strong team in the early game, and just keep it running like that, go up against GameplayDNA, secure another early lead, and don't lose it this time as you did in the first game, because I feel like, in my opinion, if you have that early advantage, you should never throw a game. If you play it perfectly and a bit restrictive from that point and maybe a bit passively, I don't know what's your opinion on that, Nero. Probably you disagree, because I feel like I'm the only one putting such an emphasis on the early lead.
I mean, yes, that's what you shouldn't do. You should not give up an early lead, but that's usually what happens. The key to winning when you're an underdog is just taking the early lead and then holding on to it until the very end. But that's where the struggles come in. Most of the underdog kind of teams, they struggle to close out the games. Time passes by, and even if you don't throw the game, the enemies start coming back into it, and then you find yourself helpless because you make more mistakes than them. But right here, GameplayDNA, they seem like they're good at just polishing their basics and completely throwing out the mistakes. So I think it's going to work out for them, but also there's nothing as devastating as you said, like when you're winning for 20 minutes, when you have a 10,000 gold lead and then you start losing the game. That's horrible. You never want that to happen. But simply, games work like that. When you find yourself overwhelmed at one moment or overextend a little bit too much, it's just so easy to abuse. Your one single mistake, the later you are in the game, the death timers get longer. So even if you had like 6-0 in turrets, it can get to 6-6 in no time. And yeah, you just have to have a good plan. If you want to finish your game quickly, then you have to have like 2 or 3 options. If the first one doesn't work, you have to quickly just fix it, and in a matter of 3 minutes, just approach it again. Because if you wait around too long, if you try to idle around a little bit, if you give up on one objective, it could be your loss.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of compositions for these two teams, Team NoNames, they played a nice Jarvan. I definitely liked the Jarvan. And the Victor in the mid lane with a crazy performance. But was that Victor performance maybe due to the Vladimir on the other side? Or how would you see that matchup? Because I would give a little edge to the Victor in that matchup.
Yeah, I feel like overall, I feel like Vladimir didn't necessarily lose the entire middle lane all by himself, but it was all about Victor being so resourceful and so thoughtful of what he's doing. But also, as we mentioned, the jungler wasn't doing much for Wonderstack, and in the top lane, the Shen actually was able to solo the Jarvan once. It was off screen, but I just noticed that Shen just got a kill on Jarvan and he had like full HP, so I was like, All right. So you came back to base, teleported in, and was able to take him down. But it already shows you that he knows what he's doing, and he was able to beat down the Jarvan. The Olaf, the later it got into the game, I think the easier it would be for the enemies to start ignoring him, but that just simply never happened because no one was able to stop him until the 20th minute. And NoNames actually started digging into the base. I don't think the Vladimir was such a big problem. At some point, the difference was just, the gap was just so big that even if he gave his best, he used the flash and the sanguine pull and everything, he was just not able to run away from there. Not enough maybe appeal for him. Maybe that Thresh would have been the best filling that Wonderstag were missing, because that Thresh was simply banned. And also I was wondering whether NoNames would go for some champion like Zyra themselves, since that Thresh was banned, but they decided to go for the Braum. And in my opinion, it was quite a good idea on their side overall. So yes, Wonderstag still had some chances of coming back. NoNames still were making some mistakes. They were overextending a little bit, because at like 8th minute into the game, they dove the first turret, ended up being right next to the enemy base along the inhibitor turrets. When Victor was being chased around, when the bottom lanes come, Ashe hit the arrow but wasn't quite able to finish him off, and so on and so on and so on. So NoNames still overextending a little bit too much at that point, maybe giving up a little bit, or not even giving up because they didn't reduce so many people out there, but lost a lot of time where they could be soaking up experience, creating even bigger advantage in CS. But despite that, they were able to win. So against GameplayDNA, since they made such a huge step from the first match to the second, I think that against GameplayDNA it's going to be even better, and they're not going to have issues like these.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. In terms of AD carry, I wanted to mention that we've seen 2 Caitlyns, and both of them went absolute rampage, as TNN also managed to get their Caitlyn going pretty well. I remember that correctly. So at least for the teams that are going up right here, Caitlyn seems to be a #1 priority pick as an AD carry. So probably in the next 2 games, at least one Caitlyn ban should be coming in. I feel so. And also, I don't know, the Zac ban seems to be a must ban. But what else should you take out? If you're playing against the Horizon Reapers, I definitely recommend taking out a Jax, a Jace, yeah, and the Caitlyn. So Jax, Jace, Caitlyn, then probably banning Zac, and the fifth ban, I'm not too sure about that. You could also leave the Zac ban to your opponents, but yeah, it's
yeah, it would be
it's
lucky.
a clear way that's coming down here.
It would be lucky if the enemies banned the Zac, because there's so much that you have to ban against Horizon Reapers. You mentioned the Jax and the Jace just because we've seen them, but there are also so many other champions that Marine can play on an even or higher level. People keep saying that Kled is his signature champion. I feel like he's going to have an amazing Jarvan too. So it's not only about that Jason Jax, and then you're saying that you still have to take care of the jungler, then an AD carry. There's just so many champions that you can ban. You have 5 bans to deal with, and it's still not enough. I mean, just a couple of weeks back, we still had 3 bans in our tournaments. When you're facing off against a team like Horizon Reapers, even 10 could be not enough.
Yeah, definitely. They're so versatile in their playstyle, and that's a great asset to them.
Yeah, and right now, it's going to be, of course, mostly GameplayDNA and Team NoNames focusing on each other, how to beat each other, and get into the grand finals right there. But on the back of their minds, they're gonna have to be coming up with something to beat Horizon Reapers, and it's going to be real hard. As Horizon Reapers, they crushed GameplayDNA. They were kind of goofing around at some point even. So you can clearly still see that they have a little bit of a buffer. Like if things get tough, they'll have even more to dish out right there, and that's scary. I'm not too sure if anybody's going to stand a chance against Horizon Reapers. Not too sure if anybody was even to be able to take them down from the very beginning of this tournament. And maybe there's a possibility that Horizon Reapers going into the final day today, they were thinking like, it's all over, it's all done, we just have to go through these matches. It's a formality.
Yeah. Yeah, but in the end, I feel like the only team that could really do something against the Horizon Reapers would be Team NoNames. Maybe in the first game against GameplayDNA, they hadn't sorted out all the kinds of play styles, and so maybe finding still out yeah, the synergy between the players on their roster. So Team NoNames, as the tournament goes on, they might be finding themselves and might be growing to the team that they want to be. So I feel like they would have the best chance against the Horizon Reapers. Also GameplayDNA, they now have some more information, but looking at how clearly the victory of Horizon Reapers versus GameplayDNA was, I'd still think that Horizon Reapers would take that match, yeah, pretty clearly as well. So
yeah, and
all
that's
hopes
the thing.
are on Team NoNames for the underdogs.
That's the thing, like GameplayDNA, even if they get there, and yeah, there's an ambulance passing by, even
Yeah,
if
you
GameplayDNA
criminal.
get there, they're gonna have that on the back of their mind, that they just got obliterated by Horizon Reapers. They're gonna be pressured, they're gonna be overwhelmed by that, possibly. But there's no warrant that it's not gonna be the same for NoNames, actually. I mean, these guys, they've been beaten by GameplayDNA, and yeah, sure, they mentioned how they can improve and they can just make it better in the next match. But now it's not like GameplayDNA is the last boss. You have to forget about GameplayDNA. If you're not able to beat them without really focusing on that matchup, you're not going to stand a chance against Horizon Reapers, and that might be quite scary on NoNames.
Yeah, definitely. But it could be the Norwegians who ride the lightning storm all the way from Lithuania to Hungary. And I just hear that we're only a minute away from the picks and the bans. So ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves ready, get yourselves some refreshments, as this is gonna be our second last game today. Our decider match, GameplayDNA versus Team NoNames. The winner advances to the finals, the loser is eliminated from the tournament. And there we go! GameplayDNA with the Yasuo ban!
Again.
Yes, again. You were talking about it, some kind of troll champion, but somehow the teams in this LoL battle don't seem to like Yasuo. And it was NoNames' opponent that banned Yasuo, so there has to be something about NoNames' players with that Yasuo, because they seem to target the Yasuo here against Team NoNames. On the other side, we see a fresh ban coming in. Feels to be a smart choice against GameplayDNA. We saw that thrash in the first game between those two teams.
Okay.
So definitely not a bad one here.
I'm just taking a look at the lineup of Wonderstag, because I was 100% unfamiliar with the name right here, and apparently Skinzer was already playing in this team back in 2014, which is 3 years ago. But then the lineup was completely changed, and yeah, these guys have been taking part in the Challenger Series qualifiers, but it's not this exact lineup that we're seeing right here. So I was 100% sure I'm familiar with the game. These are just completely different players. But yeah, the organization definitely stands for something, and they definitely will want to fill their shoes, but not on this tournament anymore. It's sad to see the Hungarians out right here, but if you were to choose like between the org names, if it was Wonderstag versus Horizon Reapers, then we'd definitely say that Wonderstag is going to crush everybody right here. But see, that's not the case. Same goes for GameplayDNA. Them alongside with Wonderstag were supposed to be these established organizations and possibly the teams that stick together and that mean serious business to be able to beat everybody. But now in this matchup, we're facing a big chance that NoNames are going to knock them out, and instead the two organizations are going to be out of the tournament before the finals, and in the finals we're going to have NoNames, the guys that just created the team for this tournament, up against the Reapers.
Yeah, if it comes like that, first of all, GameplayDNA, they still have something to say. And they went for the Caitlyn first pick. On the other side, we saw an Ashe coming in and Elise coming down here for TNN. Also the Braum, that is pretty popular here in our LoL Battle Finals. And the Lee Sin coming down.
Yeah, so Caitlyn, Braum, Lee Sin overall begins to look pretty good for GameplayDNA, though the question is, are they going to be able to execute the Lee Sin just as good as Horizon Reapers? Are they going to have a good enough Caitlyn, just like the other teams that have picked it this far? And a Trundle from NoNames. And
yeah, look at that. First the Olaf, now the Trundle.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like they're trying to just mix things up a little bit, experiment a little bit, and bring back maybe some older champions to surprise people. And I feel like it's a good idea if they're able to, because with the Olaf pick, they knew exactly what they were looking for. They executed it exactly like it was supposed to. They used the aggression to its fullest. So if they also, if to me, it seems like they know the champions very well. Like they know the mechanics. They know when a champion is best and when it's best to like exploit his capabilities. So that's what I like right here. Them going for another kind of unpopular lately of a pick. And I believe that they will know exactly what to do with it. And this could crush GameplayDNA, because at this stage, at this moment, they might not be prepared to face off against a Trundle or an Olaf or something like that.
Yeah, but right now, sorry for interrupting you, but look at this. We have Kassadin, LeBlanc, Oriana and Jace banned. So Syndra is left for the mid lane. But other than that, not too many mainstream champions. Also Victor being banned. We have seen a Vladimir already. So a lot of focus coming down here to the mid lane. But the Syndra still remaining open. That's something I'm wondering about.
Yeah, Syndra for sure. And for sure there also is a little possibility of a Galio picked again. Like a week ago in the qualifiers, there was a lot of Galios in the middle lane. So Arena to the top lane for GameplayDNA again. Oh man, I will probably be pretty interesting.
Syndra. I really like GameplayDNA's composition here.
I feel like they got everything they wanted right here, but on the other hand, not sure if Team NoNames care about that in the slightest, because they have their own like extraordinary / weird picks that they'll do so much better with. They've got their comfort picks compared to like the OP picks or whatever, and maybe not OP but like strong picks in the meta by GameplayDNA. But
exactly,
hey,
so
every jungler knows how to play a Lee Sin, of course, so so it's not like it's going to be anything extraordinary in the hands of this guy. For Benji, maybe, yeah, he's done extremely well, but I'm wondering if GameplayDNA's jungler is going to be good enough with it.
Yeah, he will probably dish out a solid performance here. But I'm just so keen to see, probably Jarvan is going to the top lane again, and Trundle is gonna go... Whoa, wait, oh no, alright, the Trundle is the support. And Elise is in the jungle, so Jarvan on the top lane, Echo in the mid. And yeah, I got a little bit confused because Trundle usually known as a top laner. You can also go for him with go for the support here, and that's just gonna be crazy to see. I just can't wait about it. And also some nice echo ults. I just love the echo ults. I love the animation and how it actually works. But most of the times I don't see any good echo ults. It remains to be seen if the NoNames can dish out something that's worth watching. But first of all, Ploxy with his Elise as expected, going into the jungle. And let's see if we are about to witness some early game aggression. That's something we haven't seen all day long today.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And don't forget, this is the deciders match. GameplayDNA going up against Team NoNames, which are starting to make a name for themselves. So, Axis
Minions have spawned.
zoning it out a little bit. Pulsar and Nofar are waiting in the bush, so they might be up to something. Trundle has to be careful not to go through the river. But now with Magnus to his side, there is the possibility of an engage here early on, even before anybody touches a minion on the bot lane. But then everybody just goes back and the laning phase starts as usual. Show Macalone and Banderas poking each other a little bit. And a nice stun here, so Banderas already pretty low, but all the little potions are gonna kick in, so not too much of a problem for now. X is also taking a lot of damage as Nofar is hitting him hard, but Magnus in the meanwhile is hitting on Nofar. So a good trade here for the NoNames. Axis now has to be careful, but a nice exhaust on Nofar, and Magnus is focusing the AD carry, whereas Axis is just falling low by Pulses. And Nofar is slain as Echo comes down and secures the kill here, so the first blood falls into the hands of Team NoNames. And that was just well done. DNA dished out the damage to the support, NoNames dished out the damage to the AD carry, and what happens? You secure the kill, you kill the AD carry, and that's absolutely what you want to prevent if you are GameplayDNA. Banderas on the top, playing a very, very solid top lane. I haven't seen him making any mistakes today. He didn't really strike me as making the most plays or doing a show or a great job on the top lane, but he's just doing a solid play and doing a very good job. That's what you want your top laner to do. It doesn't always have to be fancy. Your top laner shall just be the anchor of your whole team. If it's working like that, you can be satisfied with his performance. And there is now still waiting. 4 minutes passed and we haven't seen a Lee Sin gank. So this one might still be coming. Also Domas had to retreat. Lighter and Divider. No, these names are rhyming. Lighter and Divider battling it out in the mid lane. But there's help coming in as Domas is making his way into the mid lane. Not quite able to secure a kill. The bot lane is going in favor for DNA now in terms of HP. Still the two tanky champions. Show Macalone has to be careful because Banderas is dealing quite a lot of damage. And Lighter's still running around on the mid lane. He's been there forever. And doesn't look like returning to the base soon. Going in on Domus. Not quite able, but there he goes for the kill. But he is killed by the tower himself. So both teams just exchanging a kill here and there, accelerating the game a little bit because they're just exchanging some gold, and we see Ploxy with Divider brawling in the mid lane, and Ploxy grabs another kill. Just overall a great performance by Ploxy. I love the style that he plays on the jungle. Had a great game with the Olaf last game and seems to continue this one. Dome is now backlighter as well. Dome is taking a lot of damage. Echo dealing so much damage here early on. Keeping Domus on his tracks. The bot lane, other than the kill that we have seen in the early stages, nothing happened so far, but Nofer is now again going for the support. That's also something that's running in favor of Team NoNames. The AD carry always hiding behind his support. Doing a good job by that. And Banderas is now starting to push his minion waves into the opponent's turret. Lighter has to be careful getting out to safety. Well used ability here of Echo. And going so strong against that Syndra, I really didn't expect that. Actually, I thought that Syndra might have the potential to really go on a rampage here. And now Lighter coming in, taking down Domus finally. He's been so dominant. And against Axis, you're not gonna get away, Divider here. But with that little jump, and Ploxy now is in danger, and Divider's returning for the kill on Ploxy. So the slow not quite enough to secure the kill here, but Lighter's coming in, and Divider just returns for a double kill. Team NoNames hasn't really learned from it, and there's a teleport coming in. I don't know if I like this, but Magnus is doing a great job right here, and Banderas now coming in. They might get onto Jofer. Sorry, DJ Nofer. And Pulls is able to return, but Banderas securing the kill. That's a good job, well done. And now Team NoNames there are going for the bot turret. But they wasted these 2 kills. They just granted a double kill to Lee Sin. That should not have happened. Just going in like that, that was uncautious. Fighter now, just going for some creeps. There we go, we see the scoreboard. 20 creeps ahead for Aurelia on the top lane. In the mid lane, it's going in favor of Echo. That's what we expected all the way, as he's having a dominant performance there. On the other side, what's running for GameplayDNA is the bot lane. At least in terms of creeps. But already 2 deaths on that Caitlyn. Actually, that's quite astonishing. Even though she died 2 times, she still got more farm than the Ashe that never died. Show Macaron now. Oh, just a slight miss here by the Ashe ult. The arrow coming in but not quite clipping. Magnus and Axis now performing the lane swap. And Ploxy coming in. He has to hit his cocoon. Joe Macaron still standing, and now Ploxy. Oh, what a great job by Divider. He's really turning on the heat. Going for the double kill, and it might even be a triple. There we go. A triple kill, turning it all around, and GameplayDNA, they look sharp right now. Because of Divider. We expected NoNames to be in the flow right now because they were absolutely crushing Wonderstack. But now, GameplayDNA, they're returning it again. Yeah, a lot of pings coming down on the minimap. There's vision all over the place, at least for GameplayDNA. And Banderas is there all alone, falling down to Nofer. Now the bottom lane starts to get started here, and the double kill for the AD carry might also be a triple. But Ploxy manages to get away, as the ice pillar just slowed too much. But that's unfortunate here for TNN. And Divider also secures the dragon. The gold lead still not mounting that much, but another kill might be coming in for NoNames. Yes, and Lighter, that took a lot of time until finally Showmac alone decided to go to the Reaper of Death. And Ploxy in the mid lane having trouble again against Divider. Who else? A nice pillar coming in here by Axis. Banderas is there with the teleport, but not quite helping Axis here. Jumping in again, but that was enough time for Syndra to follow it all up. And there's Divider jumping in again, and Lighter still alive, going for the shutdown, but killed as well by Domus. They're going at it. Look at that. Going in, going out, going for one kill, and then the other team returns. But still, GameplayDNA having that little advantage. They have a dragon, they have about 2,000 gold more. And Nofor now going for a second tower. Not a third, it's a second tower. But still a very even game. Lighter now on the bot lane, sending a good stun on Showmac alone. And he's still dealing a lot of damage with that echo, but Showmac alone, he's hard to get down. And he returns once again for a kill for GameplayDNA. So another time it looked like a good engage for TNN, but then somehow DNA could return the favor. Now a fight is coming up here for the mid turret. There's some HP on it, not too many. And Nofer will probably get it down. Banderas in the meanwhile is doing a good job at split pushing. That's exactly, if you're losing in the mid lane you have to get something else going. That is what Banderas does well. Now Irelia is retreating to the base. Axe is trying his best, but the tower still falling in the mid lane, and the game is paused right now. I don't know what's going on, but something might be wrong with the connection. I'm not too sure about that. Let's not hope so. Let's hope that it's not GameplayDNA that disconnected here. Yeah, or could this be a tactical pause just to check the minimap? Talk about what you want to plan next? I don't think so. Let's do a quick check. So Magnus is dead right now. Divider has left the game. Yes, it is Divider for GameplayDNA, and that would be really, really bad. Divider, the MVP so far. He's doing a great job. So they can't lose him. I'm just waiting for the production to tell me what the problem is, and I hope that we can solve it quickly. Oh, I hear that Divider was playing with lags. Wow, that's crazy. He had that kind of a performance even though he had lags. Look at his stats. He got 7 kills, died 2 times, 0 assists, but what a great performance for even having lags. And that's why the lags got a little bit worse, so he decided to reconnect. Because there's so much on the line right here for GameplayDNA. If they lose, they are eliminated from the tournament, but it looks like they're going to win. So let's take another look at the minimap. We see Jarvan pushing to the Nexus, to the inhibitor turret, but the game goes on and Axis falling down. It's no for killing him. Pulls us also on low HP. They might be retreating for now. I don't know. Echo is here. Lighter taking on Divider. Gaining a shield, then escaping. Divider's there to maybe get something done, but Lighter quick on his feet and quick in his mind. Menderas, on the other hand, he got at least a tower, the inner turret. So in terms of towers, it's not looking that bad for NoNames. It's 4-3. Is now making his way into the opponent's jungle. Lighter continuing to do some work on the bot lane, but he's in company as Divider and Domus make their way to the bot lane, and Divider securing another kill. That's the 8th already. 8 kills for Divider. That's just sick. For the other team, Echo had the best performance. He was 5-5, now he's a 5-6. But that's running well here because TNN secure a Rift Herald for themselves without DNA doing anything about it. But they have to pay a price for that, and that price falls as Banderas is killed in exchange. Loxy now returning to the base. It looks like TNN are waiting for Banderas to return. And that's smart, because you don't want to waste any more opportunities here and you don't want to get caught off guard. Against that, Irelia, Lyda has to be careful. He tried to take her on once. Both of them were full HP. He did manage to get it done. Now he's on half HP. Or he was. So brawling with Shomek alone is dangerous. Axis now in trouble. Divider is here. Domus, Pulses, they're all here and he's all alone. That's exactly what I was talking about just a minute ago. Just like that in a teamfight situation, you would be down. But Lighter fighting it out with Shomek alone and he's punished for it. But retreating for now, Shomek alone, he won't get away. So, no punishment. Excuse me for that one. I quickly thought that I could might die there, but Lighter was quick on his feet. Jarvan doing the split push. Whereas the whole team GameplayDNA are pushing for the inhib. Now Jarvan, yeah, he's getting the inhib in return. Banderas and Lighter, they're making their way through. The Rift Herald still standing, doing a great job here. So this is forming to be a slow base race. Ploxy being caught by Divider. Is he gonna survive that? Probably not. The kill finally falls into the hands of Lofer. But look at that, the base race is still continuing. And it's the Rift Herald still plowing through. Everything was running in favor for GameplayDNA. But this base race actually got pretty close. TNN now just with 2 guys left. On the map, Ploxy returning in about 3 seconds. They have to return, but the opponent's Nexus is open, sorry. GameplayDNA now going for the Baron. I would run straight into the base of GameplayDNA if I was TNN. With all the man, I would let that Baron fall. I'd go for the rush. And there we see Banderas is there. Banderas is at the Nexus. Can we get the spectate? Please observe the Nexus. I want to see the Nexus because this is tight. And it's not quite enough. Oh. And in the meanwhile, the team fight went in favor of GameplayDNA. Everybody is dead for TNN right now. 16 seconds until Trundle is back. 10 seconds until Ploxy is back. And they are running into the opponent's base right now. It was so close. The Nexus of DNA just standing there with about 10 HP to be precise, and Divider there with low HP. Is he gonna fall down to the Elise? No, stun on Trundle. Shomek alone doing a good job, and I think it will not quite be enough. This will be the end of the game. Is there something you can do about it? Another shutdown. Shomek alone still standing. Lighter. Oh, they're returning it again. What a crazy finish. Can they get rid of the super minions here in time? Lighter, Banderas, make news. They're still standing. Oh, excuse me for screaming, but what is this? This is crazy.
Red team's turret has been
So now there's the Syndra standing for GameplayDNA. You have to defend your own Nexus and just go the way to the DNA Nexus. I did not believe in TNN still defending the Nexus, but this is absolutely crazy. But now, DNA, they are back to life. The Nexus still standing with about 40% of its health. It's gonna come down to a team fight or maybe a sneaky entry here once again for Banderas. The teleport not up. Lighter also playing with the teleport. So that's definitely an advantage here. On the other side we see GameplayDNA just Shomek alone with the teleport on his Irelia. Taking down another red buff. It either has to be a very quick or very sneaky entry, or you have to win the team fight. Those are the 3 possible outcomes for the end of this game. So right now the farming going on. The game's slowing down. Both teams are still waiting for a nice entrance. So TNN taking down another turret here. They might even go for some more late game farm. Might go for some more gold in order to buy to go for their full buy. Once they reach the full buy, they can exchange some hits and maybe go into the team fight if they feel confident about it. Because right now the surface is not even. We have a 5,000 gold lead for GameplayDNA. So in terms of items, they are a little bit ahead. If TNN can neutralize that advantage, we might see it all coming down to an even out team fight. And you could also flip a coin probably. But that would not be as interesting as the base races that we've seen going on. So Braum is the only one defending right now here in the base of GameplayDNA. Syndra also porting back. Jarvan's teleport is up. Lider's teleport is up as well. If Lider can maybe break through on the bot lane, place a nice ward that you can teleport on, that would be good. GameplayDNA, they went for the team play all through the game and are pushing through the mid lane. Look at that echo on the bot lane, keep that in mind. Now the minimap gets very important as we have a fight in the mid lane, a fight on the top lane, and also a fight in the base of GameplayDNA. Domus now, okay, Show McAlone going on against Banderas here. Banderas not getting away, that might be a very costly kill. Show McAlone grabs a kill here, Divider gets a kill, and that means 2 kills for GameplayDNA, and that might just be enough to secure it all. Now a lot comes down to that echo, if he manages to get something done with the Syndra. But I don't think so. Also, Irelia has been porting back, so this might be a 2-1 here. Also, Echo falling down now. And this has to be the game finally for GameplayDNA. And what a great match this has been. What a great game. Oh my god. Sorry guys, I'm exhausted. That was crazy. Nero, you look a bit sleepy.
Me sleepy? I'm just in shock.
Yeah.
I'm in complete shock right here. 20 minutes game where both the Nexuses are 1 hit away from being destroyed. Both. It's just huge.
Alright, let me quickly interrupt you because we have a replay of that base race. Just show it. Production, please give us that gameplay. I want to see the replay. Just, it was crazy. Banderas, I reckon it's Banderas going ham in GameplayDNA space, whereas we have the team fight going on in the mid lane. Yeah, look at that. Lider and Banderas with the Rift Herald's help going on to the Nexus, and look, it's melting. Lider unfortunately dying, Show McAlone doing a great job going up against 2 right there. And there's the double kill. So that was so freaking close.
Banderas might have actually lost the game right here now that I look at it again. Because he used his Cataclysm on Irelia, and he did not save the Echo, and also just put himself right on Irelia's face, so that Irelia could start killing him right off the bat. And him just landing 1 more auto attack on the Nexus would have been him destroying the Nexus the next time, because he teleported later and left it on just 1 hit. So that might have lost the game. Also, the same on the other side. There was just such an opportunity right there to finish it off. Then the super minions could have just hit it once and finished it, but yeah, just tiny bits left here and there, and it didn't work out at the end of the day. But I was actually expecting at that stage for NoNames to take it, because they had a double teleport lineup, and these teleports were coming in much earlier than the Aurelia's one, so they had the upper hand in my opinion on this one. But unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Alright guys, so we have a second replay to show you. Just put it in, please. Oh, that was the best game today. GameplayDNA versus Team NoNames. Oh, just crazy. The replay coming in. Yeah, here we see the teleport coming in. That's Banderas trying to make it all happen. And again, he's going up against the Syndra. Not facing her directly. And there's also... It's Showmac alone again. And look at that. That was the situation when I was going crazy. Because that's just so little HP on that Nexus. Ah, that was crazy. But look at the bracket. I told you. I should have bet on the games. Because it happened as I expected. Team NoNames won against Wonderstack. Then GameplayDNA now facing off again against the Horizon Reapers. So everything as expected, at least from my side. But now, unpredictable finals, because GameplayDNA, they had a tough match right now against TNN, but they have also some info about the Horizon Reapers. They themselves have info about GameplayDNA and had a great tournament performance so far. So I'd still go with the Horizon Reapers, but I don't know anything anymore after this last game.
Yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, all right. As I like turtles and trains, he's one of the players from Team NoNames right here that's typing in the chat, and he's saying it was more like 2 auto attacks. And yes, I also think there was more like 2 auto attacks, but it was definitely possible to land them. Just tiny little mistakes, but it was also just as much possible for GameplayDNA to finish the game earlier. So I don't think that it is just their fault completely and they screwed up or whatever. Like, it happens to any kind of team. It would happen at that kind of situation. But yeah, unfortunately for NoNames, it's GameplayDNA going through. But NoNames still, after losing the first match, they definitely thought their mistakes through and they were able to dominate Wonderstag, and that surely is a nice achievement right there. For the match against GameplayDNA, it looked actually quite similar to the first one, where we had NoNames actually starting off quite fine, but then GameplayDNA started coming back and smashing them. But for NoNames to still leave the Nexus at so very little HP, when they were so far behind, it just shows you that that these guys know what they're doing. They have a lot of potential in there, and next time they might be the ones who will take this game, and might be the ones who find themselves in the finals.
We said it like a couple of times. This is just a team, a roster that just formed recently, like a day ago, or even an hour before the tournament. You mentioned something like that. Nero, is that true? That they changed the lineup just a couple of hours before the tournament?
Yeah, that's what let me take a look at that. Banderas 09, I talked to him about the pronunciation of the nicknames on the team and stuff like that, and he sent me the entire lineup, and then he told me like 3 minutes later, the ADCs have been changed, my friend. So, yeah. all right, okay, I see. But that's the thing I want to get on, because they just formed recently, and they maybe didn't really have the time to get to know each other. And once they get to know each other, they might have major impact on the tournament scene, at least on a stage like this. But great performance from TNN so far. I really loved the games that I saw from you guys. You did a great job. Also the compositions, mixing in something else, that definitely made it spicy. GameplayDNA now versus Horizon Reapers. Oh, this is gonna be a great final, guys. This is gonna be great. Yeah, just coming back to chime in a little bit more on NoNames. During the qualifiers, Banderas was playing in the jungle. The lineup was maybe not completely different, but had some major changes to it. And he told me that, yeah, we created the team only for just to take part in the tournament. So it seems like he didn't so much care who's going to be in the team. He just cared to take part in it. So, yeah. Yes. That's what it looked like. But for that, it's even more of an achievement for them to get where they got. And as I mentioned, next time, just to do everything so much last minute, and I'm quite sure that NoNames can actually win it. So, yeah, now... there's potential in that roster. Yeah, Horizon Reapers and GameplayDNA. That's what we are looking forward to, and I don't know what GameplayDNA do about Horizon Reapers right here, because as I mentioned, like in the deciders match, it's gonna be like you will have to focus on this match in order to be able to win it, because it was such a tough match, as you saw. And then on the back of your head, you have to already be coming up with something that you'll do against Horizon Reapers. And I don't think that it was possible for either GameplayDNA or Team NoNames to come up with something on such a crazy game like that. They had to put 100% of their focus into this deciders match. So going up against Horizon Reapers, they will only have like 5 to 10 minutes of preparation. And for GameplayDNA, I just don't think that it's going to be enough, really.
Yeah, and in terms of Horizon Reapers, I just expect them to be the Reapers of Death for DNA. But anyway, the winner gets 500 euros in cash sent back home to them. And GameplayDNA, it was like 5,000 ride points, or was it 20,000 ride points? I think 5,000. Yeah, 5,000 ride points to the second place. So yeah, I expect the Reapers to just tear through GameplayDNA, but GameplayDNA, they've showed that they have some strong nerves, and maybe they're gonna surprise us today.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean,
that's what
they have to defend like the honor of the organizations, really. So as Wonderstag got kicked out very quickly, there's a chance for GameplayDNA to prove themselves. And yeah, I mean, like in Lithuania, the GameplayDNA's Counter-Strike team is in the second place, and I'm not sure how GameplayDNA's LoL team matches up against the other League of Legends teams in Lithuania, but definitely I feel like these guys don't want to deal with that second place title for the entirety of their lives, like whatever they do. So I'm really hoping for GameplayDNA to be able to achieve something, but then Horizon Reapers, they're so confident right there, and they're laughing and stuff like that, and it feels like they don't even treat GameplayDNA as a worthy enemy. Yeah, but this game was completely crazy. And at that one time, I was thinking that actually Leader, the mid laner, has gone for a trade in the bottom lane. They lost a man out there in the bottom lane, and then he was trying to trade it back against Aurelia. And I thought, like, yeah, great, you're getting 1 kill, but only for your inhibitor, which made me quite laugh under my nose. But then I saw the Banderas going wild in the top lane, just pushing with that Rift Herald, and yeah, maybe him dying after getting the Rift Herald has brought them so much success, because when he's come back, nobody had really much info on where he was, and he could just build up that little push without anybody really being able to take care of him, because that Aurelia has gone down, and she was the only one to really deal with him. That was her task, and when she was dead, there was nobody to really take care of that Jarvan. So yeah, that's a really good approach. That's a good idea. Yeah. But yeah, now comes the real challenge. I mean, Mac alone, he was struggling a little bit with that Jarvan of Banderas's, and I'm quite positive that Marine's Jarvan is going to be even stronger. So how do you deal with that?
Exactly, and that's what we're just about to see. I need a quick break to get fresh for the finals. I hope you are still fresh. If not, also use that quick break. So 5 minutes, and then we will be back with the picks and bans. So stay tuned and see you after our short break.